welcome to my BUSSIN tier list. Um, we're gonna start off with BUSSIN, okay? BUSSIN. So BUSSIN, we'll say that's like in the middle, cause you'll say like this food's BUSSIN, right? BUSSIN. Okay. Next up, let's see, kinda BUSSIN, right? I reckon kinda BUSSIN goes to the D tier because when the food is unexpected. So when like you look at the food and you think it's a pile of garbage, but then you take a bite of it and you're like, kinda bussin'. So that's like a D tier, I reckon. Just below bussin'. Alright, next up we got not bussin'. Not bussin'. So I reckon not bussin' goes in E. That is below kinda bussin'. Because when food is bad, you're like, it's not bussin'. But it's like not bad. It's not bussin'. It's not kinda bussin'. You know, where the food surprises you, you're like, oh, kinda bussin'. But it's not bussin', right? E tier. Okay, let's see. We have hella bussin'. Hella bussin'. This food is hella bussin'. You know? So I think this goes, we'll put this at 8, okay? That's like a tier. We might have to change it around later, but A tier. Alright, next up, let's see. We have this shit bussin'. Okay? Now this might be A tier or S tier actually. Actually, this might be A tier. Hella bussin' will get demoted to B. Okay? So A tier, we have this shit bussin'. So it's when you have such good food. Like imagine your favorite food in front of you and you're like, damn, this shit bussin'. Right? Where like the food literally makes you wet. Okay? This is the food. It's so good that this shit bussin'. Okay? Alright, next up, let's see. Bussin'. This shit bussin', bro. Bussin'. Okay? It's even in caps, bro. Come on. That's an A tier. Next up, we have assin'. That is when the food is so dog shit that dogs won't even eat that, okay? It's assing. The food's assing. Okay? It's like, imagine in public, okay? Your friend gives you a slice of pizza that they found in the fucking garbage, okay? They found the food in the garbage and they gave it to you, and you're like, this food is assing, bro. It's assing. It's been out for like 2 weeks. It's cockroach infested, okay? Probably some dude, like, half digested it and then they, like, they shat it out, okay? This food is assing. Bottom. F tier, okay? All the way, okay? Now, we have it's bus. It's just, it's bus. It's average. It's bus. I'd say that is like D tier. Below bussin'. Right? Because bussin' is like, it's bussin'. It's bus is like, man, it's bus. This food, it's bus. Okay? D tier. Right? Next up we got this be bussin'. Okay? This is like when you have some good food, above average food, and you're like, yeah, this be bussin', right? So we'll also have it at B with hella bussin', right? This be bussin', oh hella bussin', right? Alright, next up we got bussin' respectfully. Bussin' respectfully, I feel like that deserves its own tier list, right? That deserves to be on the posh tier list, okay? Because bussin' respectfully, it's something some posh people will say. Some like British will be like, yeah, this shit bussin' respectfully, okay? So that'll be S tier for the posh tier list, right? The tier list is broken. Don't worry about that. Anyway, so back to the bussin' tier list. Now we have, yeah, it's bussin'. Sheesh. Now that is something that you go to your grandma's place and she cooks up this homey, delicious meal that is different to anything that you've ever had. It's like opening the gates, okay? And then you see Jesus right in front of you, and Jesus hands you this plate. Jesus just hands you a plate full of bussin' food, right? But in this case, it is a grandmother, right? So for this, it will be S tier. Such good food, delicious food. Yeah, it's bussin'. Sheesh. Now that food, that food made you lose. Okay, that food, you can put a ring on it. That food is like
flour,
but 10 times the fucking powerful, the effect, bro. That is bussin'. It's out there on the top. Okay, I don't think anything can top that. Right. So next up, we got motorbiking. You may think that, okay, motorbiking, that's not bussin', right? But motorbiking. This food is motorbiking. You know, when you have the food, it's motorbiking. It makes you go. Okay, so this, I feel like motorbiking. Right, motorbiking should be above bussin'. Because it's different. The food's different, right? Like the food can be, this food bussin'. But they're like, oh my god, this food is motorbiking, bro. The food literally turns you into a motorbike where you go like, right? You take a bite of the food. Damn, this motorbiking, and you go, right? Anyways, moving on to the last bussin' in our bussin' tier list. Okay, we got Basassi. Basassi. Basassi goes in E. You know why? This is when you have food, and then the food's a little sus. You don't know. You're like, is this food bussin'? But it's a little sussy. This is Basassi. You go out to one of those Asian dodgy restaurants, right? You have like a fried rice, and you have a stir fried beef, but then you don't know if that is beef or if that's chicken. Okay, the food is bussin' because it's bloody Asian food, but it's a bit saucy. So it's Basassi. And I'd like to thank everyone who stayed till the end. And remember, if you ever need a tier list for bussin', right? Every time you eat food, refer to this page, because if you ever eat some food, and instead of saying bussin', right, you can say this shit bussin', or this shit assin'.